In this example, I'm going to show you how to set up a door that opens automatically if you have the correct key card. So here's what we've got on the map. We have a corridor, and then the corridor leads through a metal door to the armory. So when you're making your map, remember that doors are objects that sit between two rooms, and then we're going to set some flags on this to tell Lantern how to handle it. So let's pop over to Lantern and see if we could get it so that this door will open when we try to move through it if we have the key card. Okay, so here we are in Lantern, and so notice that the corridor goes east to the metal door goes east to the armory. Now the armory can go just bypass when you're in the let's go to the armory here. If we're going west, we can probably just bypass the door and go straight to the corridor. So it's kind of like the door only exists if we're going east. If we're going west, the door doesn't exist. So if we're going west from the armory, we're just going to go straight to the corridor. We're going to bypass the door completely. So we only care about like going from the corridor into the armory. So let's run this, and well, actually, let's go to the metal door here, and let's say that this thing is it's a door, but we don't want it to be open. And we don't want it to be openable because we don't want the player to just be able to type open metal door and the door opens. And it's not really lockable. The player's not going to unlock it or lock it. So we're just going to leave the lockable stuff blank. We're going to make this a door that the player can't open, right? So it's got the door bit checked, but it doesn't have the openable bit checked. So there's going to have some other mechanism for determining like whether we should open this door or not. So let's just run it and see what's going on here. Test, launch player. Okay, so this is a north-south corridor. To the east is a metal door labeled armory. Okay, so if I try to go east, the door is closed. Open the door. It's not openable, right? Because we can't, because those check boxes aren't enabled. So we can't, oh, well, actually that should say like that's not lockable or something. Because yeah, it's not. Yeah, well, that's kind of a bug. But the point is, we can't open the door. So what we want to do in our game here, let me add like a key card. I'm going to add an object called key card, a small magnetic card, or card with a magnetic stripe on it. Strip would work too. All right, there we go. And let's make that portable, and let's put it in the player and save. So if I run this now, and I type I, it says I'm carrying a key card. Cool. All right, so now let's get this sort of mechanism going where if we try to go east from the corridor into the armory, we're going to check to see if we have the key card. So that's a verb check, right? So when verb checks are there to determine if the action that the player is trying to carry out is valid. And if it's not a valid action, like you're trying to open something you don't have or something, or you're trying to drop something you don't have, then the game will say you can't do that. Well, so what we're going to do is add a check function that says, okay, if we're trying to go east from the corridor, check to see if we have the key card. So let's add a function called check key card in our verb check. So we're going to add a new check, and there's a snippet for this. Check for a key card to automatically open a door before moving through it, right? So let's grab that. And which room has the door? Well, the door is in the corridor. That's the room where the player interacts with the door. Okay. Which object is the door? That is the metal door. Which object is the key card? There we go. There's the key card. Okay. And which way are we going? Which side of the room is the door with the key card? That's on the east side. Why is it asking me what the direction is? Because this snippet is going to automatically apply this check function to the verb east. If I click east here, this check is going to get added to the verb east. So I'll say, okay. So what this is saying is if the player's location is the corridor, then does the player have the key card? If the player has the key card, it says you swipe the key card and the door opens. Or you could change this. The door automatically opens. So now it's going to open the door, and it's going to say it's not locked. We probably don't really need that locked thing because the door is not lockable. Otherwise, so if we have the key card, it's going to print the door opens. And if we don't have the key card, it's going to print out beep, key card required, and stop. So the stop command right here is going to halt the processing of this sentence. We're going to interrupt this sentence, and we're not actually going to move. Now, remember it asked us which direction we were going. So let's click on the verb east over here, and you can see that we have this key card check now. So before we try to, now watch this. So if we try to run this, and we try to go east, first it's going to run the you must be able to go that way check, and then it's going to run the key card check. Now I think we really want to run the key card check first, so you'll see why here. So if I run this and I try to go east, it says the metal door is closed, right? So why did it do that? Why didn't it do the key card stuff? Well, because the checks are processed in the order you see them here. So first it does the check to see, hey, is the door open? And then it does the key card check. But let's click the move up button. So we're going to do this key card check before we check to see if the door is open. And now let's see what effect this has. So there it is, corridor. This is a north-south corridor. To the east is a metal door. Okay, so if I go east, it says you swipe the key card and the door opens. Armory. So notice we did the armory, or the key card check first, and then the key card check opened the door. And then we were able, that check passed, and then because the door was open, now we're able to go that way. So that is how you can add a key card check. All you have to do is, but just this extra step of making sure that the key card check happens before you do the valid movement check. And then also, let's just run that again and notice that this code is testing, does the player have the key card? So if I type like drop key card, okay, east, beep, key card required, right? So take key card east. Okay, so it works. So what's going on there is this code is saying, hey, first of all, if we're going east, now check to see if the player's in the corridor. Okay, good. If the player's in the corridor, now we're going to do the code inside these curly braces. Then we're going to test if the player has the key card. If the player has the key card, it's going to print out whatever message this is here, and it's going to open the door so the player can pass through it. If the player doesn't have the card, we don't do this code. We do the else clause, and it says print line, beep, key card required. So, and then stop. So stop says, hey, you know what? The action the player is trying to carry out is not valid. Don't do it. So there we go. So notice now when every time we try to go east, we're going to do this key card check to see if we're in the corridor and we have the card. And if those are true, then we're going to handle it. So that's it. There it is. How to model a door that opens automatically if you have a key card.